A bundle of energy and innocence, Emmy dreams of carrying the torch of her grandfather's theme park, Phoenix Wonderland, and was prepared to part ways with the rest of Wonderland Time Showtime as they pursue their own dreams. However, with encouragement from her brothers and fellow troop members, she has decided that in order for her to grow, she needs to venture out into the world. That is what Otori Emi's profile says in Project Sekai. She is one of the most loved characters in the game. She even made some people start playing the game. With her joyful personality and her funny and bubbly catchphrase, but there's clearly more that goes behind her iconic mood of happiness. In the words of Alistair from Hasbin Hotel, just because you see a smile doesn't mean you know what's going on underneath. In Emi's first focus event, we learned that Emi has 2 older brothers and 1 older sister, making her the youngest of 4. I can't relate to being the youngest, but I've learned that people barely take you seriously when you say something, and that it's quite isolating because every family member is all grown up and know everything you don't. Luckily for Emi, that wasn't necessarily the case for a while, because she had her grandfather, who died. And from early on in the story, we see aspects of Emu not being taken seriously with Emu's brothers, and how they even refuse to even consider her ideas about the park when they bring up the topic of removing some attractions. But in her mind, they're going to change too much and erase the meaning behind why their grandfather built the park in the first place, which was making everyone smile. With this, it overwhelms Emu. From early on this focus event, we learned that Emu clearly neglects her negative emotions, finding them to be a burden to her idealistic view that everyone should smile. Later on in the event, we see that the rest of Wonderland Time Showtime saw Emu and her brothers fighting over the park. They put a stop to it. Later on, in episode 7, at the beginning, we see that Tsukasa brings the whole of Wonderland Time Showtime to the Ferris wheel at Phoenix Wonderland. You can see the whole park from the top, and how Emi's brothers are covering up the ode of Phoenix Wonderland. The things that, in Emi's opinion, aren't just attractions to gain income. They're full of memories that bring smiles to the ones that hold them. Tsukasa assures Emu that him, Nene, and Rui are here for her and support her dreams of wanting to make everyone smile. She just needs to share her troubles with them. And she cries. For the first time since her grandfather died. Because she promised to never cry since he died. But promising to never experience an emotion is not always possible. Emu shares her troubles with them, and they agree with her views on things, and attempt to come up with a compromise. But that compromise turns out to take a lot longer to come up with than expected. Anyway, they figure a way out, and Emu beams brighter than ever. I do have to play Wonder Magical Showtime to find out what they do, but I'm too lazy. And also, that's a Tsukasa event, I think. And this isn't about him. Do I need to do other events before this? Yes. Most likely, this whole thing will probably be less accurate because I don't have the energy to do so. At the beginning of this focus event, Emi's 2 older brothers ask her to present her ideas during a discussion they are having about the park, to have a different perspective on things. She then delivers and came to them with pages of ideas. After a long while of reading through all of them, of course they think her ideas are amazing, maybe a bit difficult to make true, but if they make do, surely the park will be better in every way possible. Emu realizes her ideas are good, truly good, but after her brothers explained that they may be more difficult to make possible than she imagined, she wonders why she can't always know what decisions to make. like her brothers and others do. How to stop living in this idealistic bubble she made for herself. Why she can't think more logically like them. She asks her brother, Shosuke, while her other brother is out of the room, how to run a business so one day she doesn't have to rely on others to know what the right decision is. He says that isn't her department because in his eyes, she's more of a dreamer. But Emu is determined to know how to make the right decision. She may be able to make that dream a reality sooner than she expects. Brothers invite her and the rest of Wonderland Time Showtime to go to America. There she meets Mr. Riley, who is in charge of Riley's entertainment. He has made his park the most interactive and creative it can possibly be. And Emu is amazed, wondering how he did it while balancing reality. Throughout the event, Emu is taking notes on everything that she finds unique, interesting, to get a grasp of how Mr. Riley made his park so interactive and amazing. How he was able to make scenes from movies real. Later on, she asks him, and he told her a story of how he met her grandfather, and how that changed his whole perspective. He tells her that creativity and wonder are amazing things to have, and if you think smart enough, anything could be possible. Tsukasa wants to improve and learn more to help his acting career, which leads him into wanting to star in another troupe's play. Rue and Nene are completely fine with this. Emu isn't fully fine with it. Later on, Nene shows an interest in joining one as well, even though it makes her nervous, to make her dreams of being an actress come true. Rui is fine with this, again, and acknowledges that if she does decide to go through with this, the troupe may not be able to gather together as much as they currently do. And Emu starts to overthink that the time she has spent with her friends is coming to an end, and then she may end up losing her close friends. Rui and Nene notice that Emu is a bit distant than usual. So them, and Showtime, the virtual singers, try to come up with a way to cheer up Emu. Len suggests that they spend time together at Phoenix Wonderland. Len agrees that it's a great idea, but Nene has slight doubts about it. They ask Emu anyway, though. And after a whole morning, or was it an afternoon, at Phoenix Wonderland, Emu shares how she's been feeling. She doesn't want the group to split up, and that will never change, but she can't allow her selfishness to hold her back anymore from supporting her friends' dreams as much as they support hers, so she'll let go of her selfishness and strive forward. But despite what she said in the last event, she still feels sad about Wonderland Time Showtime going their separate ways to achieve their dreams. Though now she understands that it needs to happen, and when it does, she wants to say goodbye with a smile. Because if you were to choose how to say goodbye to someone, that would probably be the best way. Rui goes to ask Emu's brothers if Wonderland Time Showtime can become a freelance group, so that Tsukasa and Nene can keep growing as actors. After long and serious conversation, they come to a mutual agreement that Wonderland Times Showtime can perform at the Wonder Stage on a semi-regular basis. Of course, he tells the rest of Wonderland Time Showtime the news, and Emu decides not to go with them. So Rui explains how he believes her dreams of making people smile aren't just confined to Phoenix Wonderland, but that she could make the whole world smile. But Emu still can't let go of the Wonder Stage. and Phoenix Wonderland. But Emu still can't let go of the Wonder Stage and Phoenix Wonderland. She wants to protect them and the memories they bring back of Wonderland times Showtime, of her grandfather, and all the smiling faces in the crowd and on stage. Through the progression of this event, we see Emu realize, even if Wonderland times Showtime say goodbye, goodbye doesn't necessarily mean you'll never see that person or people again. It could simply mean, see you tomorrow. The event shows how Emu has grown as a character and she no longer is attached to the park. She's ready to move forward and continue being with Wonderland times Showtime. A goodbye is no longer needed. I believe this focus event is the first one to fully show us the new Emu, the one that isn't holding on to her grief like a kid on their first time on a merry-go-round. This Emu, to me, is more sure of what she wants, more certain it's right, more prepared to show her absolute best performance. So when Yujima, the leader of the new theater troupe Wonderland times Showtime will be learning from, says she's lacking in her acting skills. She's clearly taken aback. But instead of like her old self, wondering, pondering, imagining what she did wrong and what the right immediate answer would be, she decides to improve and acknowledges it takes time. And by the end of the event, she was able to perform her perfect performance, fun, energetic, and meaningful. Emu as a character, I suppose, wouldn't have that big of a character development through her stories. I was pleasantly surprised though. It was decently noticeable if you played through them. You would notice the change in her inner monologue and how she portrays herself. Her story is clearly slightly, I guess, basic compared to others in Project Sekai, but still, it's tragic. It's tragic that it took her over a year to fully grieve her grandfather's death, because she never truly wanted to accept the negative emotions to her grandfather's passing, almost as if accepting them, he'd disappear from her memories. But truth is, you never truly forget someone, whether their life moved forward without you or froze forever, leaving you moving on without them. The memories you shared with them are sewn into time. You can't go back and change it. So if it's a midnight club, an autumn street, or a sunny day on the beach because it was their favorite place, the smiles you shared will always be there, even if it was in the past.